Hey guys, Destler Magic here. We've got some just unusual news coming out of Wizards today. They're delaying everything, but all of the reasoning, boy, this is some cloak and dagger level lying to the customers because, well, I'll give you what they said all at once here, and then I'll give you my take on why they're really doing it and what's really going on. I guess I should start with what they were initially doing. August 10th was going to be a big rollout of some big back-end changes, some code changes, probably some database changes or whatever, server infrastructure changes. They said it was pretty big. It's needed for the future of the game, and it's an upgrade and whatever. I mean, they got less users than they did a year ago, so I don't know why you'd need an upgrade. If anything, they're removing servers and making the network smaller. I don't know. I mean, they kept talking about this upgrade. I don't remember having a problem with, like, connection issues or anything that we saw really during the beta, like matchmaking tanking forever. The game's been running pretty smoothly all last month. So I don't know. It's not like I've seen like the before and after code and know what they're changing. They're being extremely vague about it, but I'm just not going to take them at their word because a lot of the stuff they're saying and doing really seems to have an ulterior motive. But they were going to have maintenance on the 10th and then jumpstart whatever was coming out at the end of August, like the 24th, 26th, something like that. Well, and then the new historic format Brawl, the 100 card Brawl, was going to come out on the 10th as part of the maintenance. So as soon as they did the maintenance patch, boom, you've got a new queue. And then I thought, well, Jumpstart is going to add 780 some cards to the format. Why would you build your deck for this queue and participate in it just to rebuild your deck and burn more wild cards and replace more things in your deck to upgrade it when all this Jumpstart stuff launches? Because there's some pretty powerful cards in there. So it made no logical sense. They're like, oh, get hyped for this new thing that's built around Jumpstart, but also Jumpstart's not coming out for 2 weeks. But do play it in the meantime. I think it was all a scam to get people to burn more wild cards. I mean, I think everything on Arena is a scam to get more people to burn wild cards. So the other major thing was that they, I guess, felt the need for a technical perspective to split the ranked season in two, but not really. So on August 10th, it would have ended the August ranked competitive ranking thing. Like it would end the season, it would give you your 3, 4, 5, 6 packs, depending upon if you're in Platinum, Diamond, Mythic, whatever. And then anybody who got to the top 500 of Mythic instead of, I think it's like 1,400, 1,200, whatever it normally is, those people will get qualified for the Mythic weekend thing and then don't have to worry about the rest of August. So then it'll reset everybody's ranks like normal, except it won't. I could have sworn they said, like, if you're in Gold, you'll stay in Gold. If you're in Platinum, you stay in Platinum. If you're in Diamond, you're still stay in Diamond. And I think Mythic will get kicked down to Diamond. I thought they said that. That was the only change. So my theory is, like, I'm currently high-ranked Platinum, and the reset was going to be tomorrow. So I thought, well, why even play today? Because I've probably played, like, 300 or 400 games since August 1st trying to get, maybe just absolutely, propelled into Mythic. But my deck, which has, like, a 65 to 70% win rate, I still don't have enough time in these 10 days playing like 2 hours a day to get to Mythic. So in my opinion, anybody who managed to get to Mythic in this 10-day stretch is just cheating. There's no way. It's either that or they played like 12 hours a day. It's just not possible to qualify in such a short amount of time. It's just not. No deck has a win rate high enough. Maybe Goblin Rush or the Troll Land Destruction piece of shit deck if you play it fast enough and get fast enough opponents, but mostly it would just be someone using some kind of exploit, in my opinion. I don't see how anybody could get to Mythic in this short of a time. It just doesn't seem possible to me. I'm having a hell of a time getting out of Platinum, and like I said, I've got a really high win percentage, like something that Wizards' own staff said would merit a ban. If you win more than 55% of the time with a deck, your deck needs to go. Something needs to change. And if you're right at 55%, the limit, you know how many games you have to play to get out of each ranking? I think I calculated one time, it's like 700. So to get from reset, which I think if you're in Mythic would be Platinum, to Diamond, to Mythic, to High Mythic, you'd have to play like 2,000 or 3,000 games in 10 days time. So it made no sense. And then they weren't really resetting anybody. But like I said, my thought is if I'm in like Platinum 1, they're going to reset me to Platinum 4. So I think they said they'll keep your rank, but not your exact rank. They'll just keep your like color level rank. But then they're giving everybody the rewards like it's the end of the month, and then at the end of August they're going to do it again. So maybe it's just an excuse to give out more packs. I don't know. It all just seems so strange to me. Nothing about this made sense, but I think the programming team just came to them and said, we got to make all these database changes. It's going to interfere with everything. Here, make this work. And they're like, I don't know, we'll do a semi-reset and make it as soft as possible. That makes the most sense to me, but like their way of handling it and the logic and the math behind it don't make any sense. Why can't they just do the maintenance on August 31st? How about that? I mean, I guess they didn't want to. Maybe there's some crippling, horrible security or stability problem in their network or in the servers that they need to address immediately. But, I mean, the game's been running pretty smoothly in July, especially compared to the beta, so you got me. I don't know why they're rushing this so much, but now they've changed the date anyway. My thinking is that the main problem was the delay between Jumpstart Historic Horizons, the release date, and the rollout of this new patch and the new Brawl. It didn't make sense to put a 2-week gap there. I think people were calling them out on it. And also, the amount of backlash over this Jumpstart 2 crap that nobody wants has been unbelievable on social media. I mean, they even tweeted out an announcement about it, like, here's a full card list and blah, 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 whatever. It had, like, a dozen replies. That's it. I mean, an announcement this big from the Arena team usually gets, like, 200 replies, and 100% of them were negative. I'll read them in a sec because that's always some fun content. But okay, that's what they were supposed to do, the complete illogic of it, and what I think they're doing. Here's what they're actually doing now, according to the changed schedule that they just announced today. So they said, yeah, earlier we said we're going to upgrade our back-end systems, blah, blah, blah. We're going to keep changing it, blah, blah, blah. But we decided that we need a bit more time to get them ready for release. Unfortunately, the release of Jumpstart Historic Horizons is tied into this back-end change, so we need to shift the release date for that as well. I wonder if adding like almost 1,000 cards to the database at once was like something about the rules engine wasn't working, or that like they overflowed some kind of thing. It would almost have to be something like that for them to have to like do this so drastically. And now that they said like Jumpstart Historic Horizons is tied to the back end change, I mean, maybe they had to rewrite it for perpetual, or maybe that code didn't work, or I don't know. It just something about those two being tied together. There's got to be something there that explains all this. But anyway, they say what's changing. Well, here's the short version. We're moving everything out by 2 weeks. So there you go. There's that. Not happening on August 10th now. The release that was planned for August 10th is now expected to arrive on August 24th. Keep that number in mind. With Jumpstart Historic Horizons now scheduled for release on the 26th. Oh, only 2 days later. There you go. That makes more sense, doesn't it? So we also need to delay adding the new Historic Brawl queue, what a coincidence, until this update as well. Well, it always was part of the update, so yeah, I assumed that's how that worked. So they say, but for players looking forward to that, we will be adding a Historic Brawl event with no entry fee on August 12th that will run until the queue is available. Remember, this is the community that they described as small but dedicated. So to make up for the fact that they're moving the Brawl release closer to the Jumpstart Historic release, because duh, you need those cards to build a Brawl deck, and I assume that's what was behind all of this. They wanted them to be closer together instead of over 2 weeks apart. Oh, but now they're adding on August 12th a Historic Brawl event with no entry fee. So everybody go out and run this unlimited no entry fee event and build a Brawl deck, but then be prepared to rebuild it. So it still looks like a wildcard burning scam that's gonna just, you build one deck and you're like, oh, I'm all set, cool, and then, oh, well, we just moved the bar, we just moved the goalpost. By adding, almost 1,000 cards, now you gotta upgrade or change, or your deck's no longer competitive. It really does still look like they want you to burn the wild cards twice by building a Historic Brawl deck twice. And plus, building one for 60 and building one for 100 is completely different. I mean, bare minimum, they're getting rid of 60, so no matter what you do, you're gonna have to rebuild and change your deck, no matter what. And add more rare lands and more different colored lands, and maybe your commander won't be competitive anymore, maybe your tribal will run out of gas because there's no more tribal support for it, or maybe Jumpstart added, tribal support, and then you gotta add, 15 new elves or whatever, zombies, skeletons. I mean, there's everything in Jumpstart. I mean, and then you guys know that it's not just Jumpstart, Jumpstart contains Modern Horizons 1 and 2, which have like slivers. So maybe now the best deck in the world for Brawl is going to be a sliver deck. And so now, once again, moving the meta, moving the bar. So whatever deck you think you're playing with on the 12th, that they're trying to draw everybody into playing for free with no entry fee on the 12th, like 12 days later, you're going to have to rebuild it. Or significantly change or upgrade it, or bare minimum, like I said, add 39 cards to it, or 40 or whatever. So they really pulled a 180 on what I thought they were doing, which is covering for the fact that this always was a scam, kind of. Because think about it. If they rolled out the new Historic Brawl queue on the 10th, and then released Jumpstart, somewhere in the August 20-something, it's the same thing. So I thought they were moving them closer together, the maintenance and the rollout and the jumpstart all within 2 days of each other, just to kind of, because people were like onto them that was a scam to burn wildcards. And then they go and add a brawl queue on the 12th. When we all know that the entire format is being rewritten. So it's almost like they moved it for actual reasons, but still want everybody to burn the maximum number of wildcards possible. No matter how you look at it, it's a really bad look for them. But wait, it gets even crazier. There are additional impacts here as well, because Jumpstart Historic Horizons is now starting closer to Innistrad Midnight Hunt's launch on September 16th. We're extending the duration of Jumpstart Historic Horizons event to run until October 14th, so there's plenty of time to enjoy both sets. I guess that makes sense. Wallet fatigue. I mean, if Midnight Hunt comes out and it's going to rotate the entire standard format and delete the 2022 queue at the same time, then people will just ignore Jumpstart. Now, according to the reaction on Twitter, people are already going to ignore Jumpstart. So they're extending it to October 14th just to give people more time to maybe throw the tiniest amount of money at it. And even just gold, not even gems, just gold, people will be like, oh, Midnight Hunt is coming out. So, mid-September, okay, I'll just, starting September 1st, just hoard coins like crazy and then throw them all at Midnight Hunt, which means that you don't have the 2,000 coins per entry to run Jumpstart. And if you're already busy rebuilding all of your standard decks because of rotation, you're not going to even give a crap about, another format or historic or Jumpstart or any of that. You're going to be focused on, I need some decks to play the damn game. Because, believe it or not, standard is still the big thing on Arena. As hated as it is by the people, and tons of people moved to the 2022 queue, at the end of the day, standard is Arena, Arena is standard. So a rotation is big news. People focus on it and people have to work around it. People are very distracted by it. So I get what they're doing here, but then it's like, well, could they just take Jumpstart, because it's not even a printed product, it's digital, so they can do whatever the hell they want, and just move the whole thing to October? Yeah, they could have. But then they're trying to push Historic Brawl, because Historic Brawl is the new commander. I mean, that's why they're moving it from 60 card to 100, and then adding a bunch of, tons of power cards with these historic anthologies, and then the Jumpstart and some other ways they shoehorned them in, like the Mythic Archive cards. In case you aren't catching on, they are scrambling to get people into something on Arena that they can enjoy playing long term. So obviously a non-rotating format would be nice. And they know standard rotation is coming and that people are looking forward to it, because the 2022 queue is way better without Ikoria and Eldraine. Way better. Way better is an understatement. Really, I mean, Westgate Regent needs to be banned. That Delina cloning bitch needs to be banned. That stupid skeleton thing needs to be banned. The troll card, the land destruction deck needs to be banned. And I think there's one other card that needs to be banned. And if they did those 5, I'm not even exaggerating, I think the format would be virtually perfect. Oh yeah, Goblin Rush, the Hobgoblin booster guy. They need to get rid of him. Yeah, that deck is so toxic and obnoxious and has such a high win rate, they need to get rid of both Delina and the Lord's card enabler. Or at least the thing that gives him haste or first strike. It's like one turn too fast for any other deck to react. And after rotation, the speed goes down, the deck variety goes down. So if it just turns into Goblin Rushville, doesn't leave anybody, time to breathe and build something a little bit slower, a little bit more mid-range. It's hard to say that going to turn 6 instead of 4 is mid-range, but I mean, it's standard. 4 sets are legal right now in the 2022 queue. So 4 sets are legal and people are still blitzing you on turn 4. That is not compatible. Those two things do not go together. So like I said, 5 cards they need to ban, and after that, the format would be amazingly diverse and perfect. I mean, for the first couple days and even leading up till now, I've seen so many creative deck ideas, interesting stuff. We've seen 1 color, 2 color, 3 color, and 4 color dragons. Oh, speaking of that, that treasure generator horde dragon thing or whatever it's called, the gold span or whatever, that needs to go too, but I'm kind of on the fence. I mean, Delina is on a whole other power level, a whole nother planet than that stupid dragon. But the treasure ramp decks, especially black red and mono red and 3 color, are getting pretty egregious. Even 5 color treasures has been pretty hard to play around because people just double down on control, and then they have the treasures to fund it and all the treasure bonuses. But, they could also stand to sweep out all the 90% control decks too, because all the time they should do that. I told people, I said, it's getting to the point where, I mean, look at Amon Cat. We had blue, white plus, control everything approach to the second sun, and then we had a control deck after that. Then we had a new Teferi deck after that. Then we had a control a-thon deck with Azorius crap with war. I mean, it just kept going. We had like the Ixalan control deck. When you go all in on board wipes and crap and then just win with one card, which we've also had that with Faceless Haven and the other Manland, and now we've added the new Manlands for the new set, the D&D set, you know, all those 5 Manlands. People will legitimately run nothing but draw, control, you know, counter spells, board wipes, and removal, and then just win with that narrow, tiny little couple cards. Which now, because of Manlands, are hidden in the land spot, not even taking a place of like an actual spell in your deck. If you want to talk about consistency, you're literally running 40 control spells at that point. And then you kill them with your lands. Like, does Wizards not see that as a problem? So just, I want to throw in like the state of things, like how Standard Constructed is doing versus pre-rotated versus what things look like post-rotation. Because when they say, oh, we're extending Jumpstart to October 14th and Midnight Hunt comes out September 16th, I just wanted to give you a feel for like where we're heading and how the rotation is going to look. Regardless of what's in Midnight Hunt, the format is too toxic and too fast to receive it if they don't do something about these broken cards. Remember, there's already 1 or 2 cards, I don't for the life of me remember what they are, but they're already banned in the 2022 format, but they're going to be unbanned when actual Standard remerges with it and rotates, which is a big mistake. So not only did they need to ban about 5 cards, maybe arguably 6 with the Dragon, and then do something about, you know, all-in control decks, like ban some of the Manlands. Oh yeah, it was the Faceless Haven Angel combo. They're going to unban the Book of the Exalted Deeds. Because that's a good idea. So they need to ban 6 cards, which they might do. They might ban it right when the rotation happens. Because it's like, well, you're already, we're disrupting all of your decks. We might as well throw out a ban announcement on top of it. So I actually fully expect that. I mean, they're the wait and see people, but they've been more clever about their timing lately. So I don't know. They only get one chance at impressing people, and rotation only happens once a year, kind of so far, even though this is like months early. And there's the heavy rumor that they're going to start doing it, you know, twice a year, every 6 months, just saying. I just wanted to throw it out there and just say where we're heading, what things look like, if it's going to be playable, if people are going to be looking at moving all of Arena's traffic to Historic Brawl at that point or not, or if people are going to jump all in on Standard. Because like the last 3 years, people have been like, oh, I can't wait for rotation. It's going to maybe not fix everything, but it'll fix it enough that I want to play again. And then it turns out, haha, no. Remember when Goblin Chain Whirler finally rotated out instead of them banning it after they made a ban announcement that specifically said, we're not going to ban it because it rotates out in 8 weeks? Like, no joke. They basically word for word said that. And then when it rotated, Red Rush was still toxic as shit. Even without Chain Whirler, they added enough new cards that people are still playing Red Rush and people are just like, fine, forget it. They cannot afford as a game and as a company to have that happen again. So I wanted to give you guys the shape of it and like what they need to do, what things are looking like and where they're headed right now, just so you got a whole schedule of like why they may or may not be shifting the focus to other things or extending things, because all they're doing is saying, here's what we're doing, and they're not really giving the true reason why. So I wanted to fill that in this article by giving you all of the information, all of what the community is saying, and all of what, is going on in Arena right now. So Jumpstart's getting extended by probably a month. I think it was only supposed to be around for a month, but October's quite a ways away, so something like that. And then they're moving the maintenance dates. So now remember, they were going to split ranked play in half, and I thought, well, the 1st through the 10th was an awfully short period, but the 24th, the new date for the rollout and the maintenance, that's even more comically close to the 31st. Well, and then it's like, how are they going to do all the Mythic qualifier crap? So they say... in the next section, titled Updates to Ranked Play, we also shared in the State of the Game that we'd be splitting the August 2021 ranked season into 2 seasons. With a shifted release date, we're updating this plan as well. The August 2021 season is underway now through August 24th, okay? But then the September 2021 season will run from August 24th to September 30th, so it'll just be like 5 weeks instead of 4, give or take. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, as strange as it was, I kind of was looking forward to the double pack rewards for 2 mini seasons in August. So they say, since we initially planned and announced this as 2 August seasons with 2 sets of rewards, we're instead combining the pack, card style, and gold rewards from both seasons into the new August 2021 ranked season. So, by the 24th, so for the season ending on August 24th, you're really going to want to get a high ranking. They even say it will be an excellent time to finish with a Mythic ranking. So, if you would have finished in, Diamond and gotten 5 packs, you'd get 10. So, yeah. Shorter season, very aggressive. I'm going to try and get to Mythic by then, just, to get a couple extra packs, and because why not? But if you want a little bit more time and a little bit more flexibility, the September season will now be a week longer. So it's like, no matter which way you want to play it, you're going to probably have a better advantage there. So that's kind of nice, and it's nice of them to have stuck to the double rewards thing, because, it doesn't really affect them that much. Not like it costs them anymore to produce more digital packs. So they say, though the season won't end until August 24th, we're also standing by our decision that the first 500 players to reach Mythic, by 7 a.m. on August 10th, so tomorrow morning, will receive invitations to participate in the October 9th through 10th qualifier weekend. I didn't know that's when it was, but okay. Oh, no, that does actually kind of make sense. I think that was the delay. But anyway, so if they told you that, then it's probably legally binding, and people would sue them if they qualified by playing 12 hours a day. It's not possible to get to Mythic by then. I don't think 500 people in the game did it. But anyway, the August 2021 ranked season will then continue as normal after the 10th, with the top 1,200 Mythic ranked people at the end of the season receiving an invitation as normal as well. So they say you can reveal all the details on it, over at magic.gg, which is their new esports competitive portal. So do go over there if you want any, information on the timing and all that stuff, because that's the hub for it. So then they have a summary, but I kind of summarized it already. Just they got the the doubling, and then this and that, and the people and the timing and the schedule, and then when the October one is, which is normal, September 30th through the October 31st, in case you were wondering. That's the only new information, but they did break it down into the one compact little area. So if you just skim to the place that says summary of ranked play changes, you could just get these 4 little bullet points and just say, oh, okay, this is the gist of it. This is the new shift. Got it. If you care about your rank and ranked play and cash money, Mythic play tournaments and stuff. And then because people are probably pissed about just everything and all the changes and all the constant updates and moving dates and everything, they threw in even more free stuff. Because remember, the arena crew and the way they've ran it has always been very generous. They've tried to do dumb, egregious crap like when Historic rolled out. To get Historic Anthology cards, you were initially going to have to burn 2 wild cards to get 1 card, and then the people were like, that's insane. You're just trying to get me to drop $20-$30 on the anthology, which I'm not going to do because it's 5 different colors. I'm not going to use them all. Why am I going to buy a pack for a ton of money when I'm going to use 20% of the cards in whatever decks I build? Well, plus the format's awful. So then they went back on that. They have been shrinking the Mastery Pass every time they redo it, less rewards every time. So they're moving in a negative direction. But initially during the beta, they were just here, have free stuff. Here, have a free code. Here, have some free levels. But lately, they've been moving more to we want to make more money, which is funny because 2020 was their record sales. And according to the breakdown of the Hasbro quarterly report or whatever, it was due to mostly online digital sales, which, COVID, what would you expect? So apparently people sat home, jumped on Arena, and spent a bunch of money, although my active player counts, I've got tons of statistical reports from multiple sources saying that they are bleeding players left and right, and that continued well into 2021. And the Wizards scrambled the way that it reports stuff, so you can't track it very accurately anymore. So thanks for that, Wizards. I guess they were done being embarrassed on the forums, because within a couple days of somebody issuing a big report on the forums, they're just fine. Stop embarrassing us. Stop saying, hey, you've lost 75% of your active users. We're just going to block you from being able to track it. Well, now that I don't have hard numbers, I'm just going to assume the worst, continue the curve, and just estimate how many unique users they have left, which is not a lot. Let's just say well under 1 million. But that's my best estimate because I don't have hard numbers, so that kind of backfired on the Wizards, didn't it? So I don't know where they're getting all this money from other than constantly launching, dumb shit like Secret Lair and new, Historic Anthology crap and, nobody's playing Standard Constructed. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get where the money's coming from on digital platforms. I have no idea. But it's there on the report, and they said they had a record year. Can't lie to the stockholders. That's illegal. I'd love for somebody to try and explain that one. But anyway, getting into, them treating us so nicely, allegedly, especially when we're pissed off about something as a community, they say Premier Historic Drafts, first entry on us. Yeah, a Premier Draft in Historics, that's usually, 10,000 coins or however the hell many gems, and the first entry is free. Yeah, that's a high value. That's $10 worth of entries or whatever. So get this, here's the full details. Given the additional time until Jumpstart comes out, they want to help hold you over until it's released. They're going to run Premier Drafts with a twist. The first time players join each of these drafts, and there's 3 of them, will waive the entry fee. So you get like $30 worth of free shit from August 10th through the 26th. Holy crap. Like, no joke, I might stream this. These premiere drafts will run for about 5 days before changing to the next one. So it's August 10th through the 15th, 15th through the 20th, and 20th through the 26th. And here are the, quote, sets, and I'm sure they use that term loosely, making a return. Amonkhet Remastered, Kaladesh Remastered, or Ikoria Lair of the Behemoths. So those are the 3 in order. Okay, Amonkhet Remastered, yeah, that was a historic product. Kaladesh Remastered, that was a historic product. Ikoria Lair of the Behemoths. That was just a standard set. And by the way, it was one of the worst draft environments I've ever seen in my life. It was just get all the broken rare mutate shit and win. Or lose. That's it. Draft black mutate or lose. And remember, you're drafting against humans. Boy, I gotta say, that one from the 20th through the 26th of August, almost not worth the free entry fee. I will be running exactly one of those. But boy, you do just kind of okay, get a couple like 3-4 wins in some of these, you'll be walking away with like, couple thousand gems, upwards of like 10,000 gems if you do really decent at these, with an entry fee of 0. So like, I believe you get to keep the cards. I didn't say it's a fake draft either. So like, get a whole bunch of free shit from Amonkhet and Kaladesh Remastered, which, that's good. Get a whole bunch of free gems and get a whole bunch of free draft experience. I mean, you guys, seriously, you need to jump on this. I think I'm actually going to put this in the title. So I got to say, anybody mad at Wizards over anything, hearing that they're giving you like $30 worth of free draft entries for sets that are kind of hard to get that nobody bought? Yeah. So they have the complete summary at the end of all the dates and everything together in case you want just like, what's going on Arena with like a revised calendar, which that's nice of them because they don't usually do that. You got to kind of put it together in your head. So I guess somebody who has a brain put this together. Oh my God, it's Jay Parker again. He wrote this article. Dude, they should make Jay Parker write all of these articles because when he writes these articles, they're actually organized and make sense. Shout out to Jay Parker for being freaking awesome. So then they just have a closing statement. I guess I'll read it. Excitement awaits. We know that you build excitement and plans around these timelines. We announce and we try hard to stick to them. In this case, moving the dates was the best way to ensure that these large and important changes will provide a better experience for our players and hope that the extra events will make the wait for Jumpstart Historic Horizons a little bit easier to bear. Now see, nobody's interested in Jumpstart and they know it, and nobody's interested in Historic Brawl until it already comes out. Everybody wanted like full-blown Commander on Arena. Like people have been actually asking for that. And so that's obviously what they're trying to do. 99+1 with a bunch of Commander staples added in. Duh. But it's like before it comes out, people are just like, more stuff to buy. I hate Arena. I hate Wizards. But I think after it comes out, people are going to be like, you can play Commander on Arena now. And I think it'll be a very big format. I think it'll blow up pretty good. But now remember, in a video I made like yesterday, the day before or something, I said, the timing of this doesn't really work. And now remember, in this video, I'm telling you about all the timing changes they're making. Interesting, isn't it? And honestly, considering the patch was supposed to go out tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., I don't think they just found out today at the writing of this article that the patch isn't done yet. Bullshit, the patch is done. All the code is done. They're changing this for tactical reasons about like the release dates and when they're happening, not because of technical reasons, I assure you. And they kind of, in this article, you might have noticed, danced around the whole thing where they didn't say, the code isn't done yet. The servers aren't ready yet. We found a problem with the code. There's a problem with the patch. Our beta testing said it's not ready. They just kind of made vague statements about why they're moving stuff around. So they're moving it around with absolutely zero relation to anything technical or like computer related. And they should. Like all of these moves and everything and the free events, all that, very positive, very generally positive, very smart, very tactical. It's going to move things more to where they should have been on the schedule in the first place, but don't lie to us. Don't come out and say, we're delaying the patch and it's out of our hands and blah, 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 vague statements. So, you're moving it so that Jumpstart is closer to Brawl. I mean, just cut the shit. That's what you're doing. And I think they're going to make some kind of weird tweak to Jumpstart or something because anytime they talk about it on social media, they get nothing but backlash. Or people are just like, I'm not interested in this, piss off. So just to outline that, they tweeted out, seeking the 31 all-new digital cards coming with Jumpstart Historic Horizons. Here's the full list, and then they link to the article, which, people could be interested in it if they were interested in it, but they're not. They replied to their own tweet saying, here's the list of all, I guess it's 46 now instead of 41. I could have sworn they put 41, but okay. 46 distinct packets to choose from, plus the all new, magic cards. Here's the full list of everything. And the first reply was, how about fixing the current event instead? Yeah, they're not giving out like ICRs or card styles correctly. You can't earn all of them or something. I didn't look too much into it. Yeah, the current like yawning portal event or whatever, it's like broken. I don't know. I didn't participate in it, so I'm hearing from other people it's not working correctly though, and that the rewards are like capped. Somebody else just put fetch lands are coming, right? No. Then somebody took a screenshot that says that in the Manor Guardian packet, so sub thing, jumpstart pack, whatever you want to call it, that group, Plague Crafter both appears 100% of the time and 0% of the time. Okay, and they just put 0% appearance rate, huh? Another person just saying, let's fix the Singleton event first. Would be nice to get the rewards. It is possible that they put the patch on hold for tomorrow morning because they're going to fix the current event that's broken, but that seems like a weird way to like shift the entire schedule for the next 2 months just to work around one broken event instead of just, tomorrow morning everybody wakes up to a bunch of free shit from the event, whether they participated or not. I mean, it's not just me. That seems to be the easier way to handle this, right? So that can't be the reason. Another person said, thanks, where can I see these all in French? It doesn't work like other galleries. It's all in English. Oopsies, Wizards doesn't care about other countries again. Somebody else just had a Dave Chappelle gift that says, nah, man, I'm cool. Which is literally the entire community's response to Jumpstart. Another person says, I really wish you could have used permanently instead of perpetually. It's too many symbols. I don't like the word. Okay, I mean, weird, but okay. Still total BS you guys doing digital only. I will never play Arena because of this. Vote with your dollars, people. And then somebody immediately says the Magic community is not great at voting with their money. It's like, I hate all these stupid secret layers. Now, I'm getting on my credit card, don't get me wrong, but I disapprove of this so much. Here, take my money. Yeah, he's not wrong. They had a record year in 2020 where the hate against Wizards and their stupid products was at a peak. So that just encourages them to keep doing the same shit. Another person just says, no, all of these cards should be banned outside of Jumpstart. Yeah, nobody wants 700 to 800 cards added to Historic. Nobody wants that. It is such a scam. People don't even like keeping up with the 4 times a year Historic Anthology shit because they're always just bomb-ass power cards and they disrupt everything every time they come out. Now, we've got all of Modern Horizons 1 and 2 plus 31 new cards with new mechanics coming out. Like I said, this is a tax on Historic players. You want to keep playing Historic? You want your deck to not be completely undermined and replaced with something more powerful from the constant power creep from us just dumping boxes full of new cards into the format? Well, hand over $100 because you're going to need 50 more wild cards. Actually, I don't think $100 would even get you 50 more wild cards. Same person said in another tweet, literally done with Historic if this stays in, and if we see digital-only mechanics in Standard, goodbye MTGA. Well, that's the other thing is we're seeing digital-only cards in Standard. We haven't seen this perpetual crap show up in Standard, which it's not even Standard because it's not at parity with what you would play in paper at F&M anyway because of all the A-series cards. But somebody told me that that's only best of 1. So if you go best of 3, it is true actual Standard, and it's 100% at parity with paper. So, okay. I mean, I didn't immediately realize that, but still. It just seems odd that all the tutorial welcome deck cards would only be in best of 1, and yet they're still calling it Standard Constructed. That just seems really odd. And then the third tweet from the same person, and I have heard this statement. It's actually become like a copy pasta that you send to Wizards on purpose and reply to everything. If I wanted to go play Hearthstone, I'd do it. As soon as people saw Perpetual and all this other shit, they said, if I wanted to go play Hearthstone, I would. Never played it, can't confirm, but enough people have said it that I guess they're moving in a Hearthstone direction, and a lot of people who play Arena are ex-Hearthstone players who are pissed off at Hearthstone, so probably not the direction you want to go. So the next person... Actually, it's Raichu, but it's a deer put together, and their username is Deerchu. I can respect that. Says, perpetually and RNG Davriel make me less excited than a wet fart. Bullshit mechanics. Yeah, Davriel isn't a 100% include, even in the Jumpstart pack that he's in, because he's not in 100% of the packs. So if you participate in the Jumpstart event and you pick that pack because you want Davriel, you don't get him 100% of the time. That's why he said RNG Davriel, just to explain that. And everybody hates Perpetually. It is so broken. It is so anti-brawl. They've already had to pre-ban 2 cards or more. They've said they're looking at more from Brawl because it's just such a poorly conceived thing. And people just don't like, forgetting that, oh, I've played Magic for the last 10 years, but now when I change the toughness of a card, that's going to be persistent if it comes back into play from the graveyard. So you might accidentally summon something and then it dies again and you're like, oh shit. I mean, you make a mistake like that, you just cost yourself the game. So having something that works on digital differently than paper when everybody's been playing paper for the last decade or 2.5, I can see why this was poorly received. I just think perpetually is stupid. It's literally the same as like an aura or a card changer or like a keyword granter. Like, oh, this card gains lifelink. Okay, then you just remember that. But then like, oh, now it persists past zones. The only difference here is that, and that's the part that people don't like, so they should have just not done it. Now, the whole, go fetch a random card from your library, that's kind of cool, because it's weaker than a tutor, but it's still kind of nice, because it's card draw, but it's not blind card draw, but it's not a full-blown tutor. It's right in the middle. That's kind of like all the semi-hexproof equals ward, and semi-trample equals, that when this creature becomes blocked, deal 2 damage to the target player. Yes, I am literally never going to remember the name of that mechanic. But yeah, the half-measure mechanics have been very popular because a lot of the stuff like hexproof is too powerful. The whole just pay 1 more, pay 2 more to target this creature, it's so much more fair. So that's why a semi-tutor, like a semi-card draw, people are like, yeah, sure. I mean, I'm fine with that. That's cool. Conjure another card is literally just conjure a token and we're too lazy to make it a token. I mean, so that's nothing. That's not even a new thing. I mean, instead of, conjure this card that was printed 10 years ago, they could have just said conjure a token with and then described the card printed 10 years ago. It literally is not a new mechanic. But, conjuring a token as a spell directly into your hand, now that's a different story. And then since it's a conjured card, it actually goes to your graveyard instead of vaporizing, so that's a slight difference. But neither one of those differences are terribly important. So I haven't seen people fly off the handle about that, but Perpetual, out of the 3, that is the one that people hate the most, and me included. And the last tweet reply is, too bad they suck and most people don't want them on Arena. You guys are destroying your digital platform by turning it into Hearthstone. And that reply appears to have been potentially either flagged by Twitter for being too rude, which I doubt, or hidden by the Wizard staff. Yeah, running and hiding from it is not the answer. Addressing people's concerns and stop doing stupid shit that nobody wants like Jumpstart and digital-only shit. Yeah, listen to the community, you assholes. So I honestly think the average person in the community is more angry about Jumpstart than I am, but I think it's because they kind of wanted to play Historic or Historic Brawl, but then they're like, oh, now you need 800 new cards to play it. Oopsies. I mean, when you keep changing the format that often with so many anthologies and shit, and Mystic Archives and Jumpstarts, and I mean, remember, this isn't even the first Jumpstart to come to Arena, and those are all legal in Historic. You can't change the format that much. You can't do it and expect people to just keep, buying more cards. There is a limit. And the best thing is you can't directly buy the cards. You need wild cards. And it takes, a 25 cent, rare is the same amount of currency on MTG Arena as a $30 rare. People who play Modern and Commander aren't used to that. And the rate at which you get wild cards is so unbelievably low on Arena from like purchase stuff. Like you could drop probably like 10,000 gems, open like, what would that be, 60 packs or something, and you'll end up with 10, 20, 30 rare wild cards? I think it's like 20. Like it's like nothing. So just to build one deck, remember Singleton, yeah, and then most of the cards can't be opened in packs unless you play Jumpstart, which nobody wants. So you just have to burn wild card after wild card after wild card, and the only way to get the wild cards, because you can't directly buy wild cards, is by opening packs that you don't need. So the closest you can get is go on the store and buy, if they're even still available, I'm not even sure, like Amonkhet Remastered and Kaladesh Remastered, and then hope you get like wild cards from that. Because those are, historic only sets. So if you're going to play historic, I guess that's the closest you can open. Otherwise, what are you going to do? Open like Strixhaven packs? I mean, all of Standard is legal in Historic, but honestly, I'm not even kidding. What they should have done for Historic, like cards that are only in Historic, so if you unlock them with a wild card, they are only playable in Historic and Historic Brawl, they should have made them cost half of a wild card. Not 2, not 1 half. Because you need so freaking many of them. I mean, like I said, between the anthologies, Mystic Archives, and Jumpstart, just in the last month or 2, they've added in 1,000 new cards that you could potentially need for your 99+1 Singleton deck and your constructed Historic decks. 1,000 new cards. I mean, the sheer number of wild cards you would need to burn to get to one deck, let alone if you want to play 3 different decks. And Commander players and Modern players, which is as close as you're going to get to Historic, they like to build multiple decks. So it's just, people are like, how much money would this take me? Or they don't even know, but they're like, I don't know, I'll throw $20 at it. And they end up with like 4 wild cards and like, okay, well, I need 30. Let me do some quick math. Yeah, I'm not going to spend $400 to build one deck on a shitty format that nobody plays, on a shitty platform that everybody's leaving. And I'm not going to buy packs for a format that I don't need. You know, it's just, they should almost just run it for free, but then it's like, well, okay, everybody will jump on Historic and you make no money, and then they just overload the servers, and that would be stupid. And I'm not going to say go to a subscription model where you just pay $8 a month to get unlimited cards, although that has been proposed in the past. And I bet you it would be extremely popular, just saying. But the sentiment about, you know, with the whole rise of Disney Plus and Amazon Prime and all these new subscription models and subscription, you know, ship food to your house, you know, Blue Apron shit, and then the subscription, you know, loot crates and, you know, bespoke posts and all this other shit. Like, people don't need one more monthly subscription in their lives, okay? They're looking at their credit card bills and their bank statements and being like, you know what, this is out of control. And then they cancel all of them. So I don't think that would be as popular as it could be. I don't think that's the solution. I think the solution is make every single Historic exclusive card 1/2 of a wild card to redeem. Because there's so many of them, and you need so many of them, and they have less value because you can't use them in Standard. Whereas if I unlock a card in like that's in Standard, I can use it in Standard and Historic, so it's twice as valuable. So they really should just cut it in half. Maybe we'll actually see them do it. I mean, they need Historic to succeed because, like I said, they keep ruining Standard, and it'll be 2024 before they get Standard down to a reasonable power level that people are actually comfortable with. And people can only draft so many sets, you know, not everybody's into draft. So what else is there left to do on Arena? Well, a non-rotating format is what people want because you burn your wild cards once and you get the durability of them, which is probably why they initially said, well, if you can unlock a Historic deck and the cards never rotate out, well, it should cost 2 wild cards. I saw the logic there, but the pool is so much bigger that they should actually cost 1/2 a wild card. So I guess they split the difference and, you know, reset it to 1 after customer backlash. But to me, the most logical thing they could do is leave it at 1. Okay, make the money up front, and then when people play Historic Ranked, for every couple wins or anytime they, you know, rank up or something or whatever, give them an enormous amount of wild cards, or have a second class of wild cards that can only be redeemed for Historic and then give them away like at 4 times the rate of normal wild cards. Or just start giving out just monstrous amounts of booster packs for Amonkhet Remaster, Kaladesh Remaster, Jumpstart. Like almost like 1 booster per game win or something. I mean, just something outrageous. Because the more you play Historic, the more you're clearly into it, the more wins you get, the more Historic wild cards you need and the more cards you need to unlock. But the amount of money you're willing to spend might not scale with that. So if you're already playing Historic actively, then give those people a ton of packs, a ton of rewards. Because up front, they, in theory, spent more to get into the format. I would absolutely love to see that. So if they kind of make Historic its own environment and start just giving people just rewards left and right and just huge amounts of like rank up rewards and game win rewards and give them like a separate, you know, daily mission thing. Or just for like at least a month, do a dry run where it's like every single Historic win you get up to, you know, the first 15 per week, it'll be like a separate quest reward like they always do, you know, with the couple per week. You know, the 1 per day plus the rotating Mastery Pass one, or have a separate Mastery Pass for Historic. I mean, that would be the easiest way to do it, and then have it only apply to Historic wins in Historic Constructed or Brawl, and then give away like 1 pack per level up for like 90 levels. And then sell the pass for like $10. I mean, like that, and then day 1 of the pass, give people like 10 of each wild card. I mean, just think about that. That would get so many people into Historic. So once they get it into a somewhat healthy state, they get the fake pretend pseudo Commander Brawl shit out, they should probably jump on one of those ideas I just said, because I think it would be pretty well received by the community. And like the whole, let's jump on and play Historic and make it its own separate little thing instead of, oh wow, an overpriced thing that's really hard to play on Arena and hard to get into and costs a ton. That's not the impression you want for what they've currently described as a small but dedicated fan base of Historic players. So what do you guys think of those ideas? Like, if they did it, would it be enough to draw you in? If they ran like free 0 entry, Historic events with like pretty good rewards but zero entry fee constantly, like non-stop. There would always be one going on. Would that be enough to get you in? I mean, I think if you're already spending the money and burning the wild cards to make a historic deck, they could at least make the events free, because you already spent money to participate in the events, and then you obviously want to win at them because the rewards would be really high. I mean, I think that would draw people in. They need to do like anything I just said to keep people interested, because it's just out of control crazy right now. I mean, the community's really turned on them, and if the core base of historic players just drops off of Arena, they've already kind of threatened that they're going to remove Historic Brawl completely from the game if this last-ditch effort to get people interested doesn't go well. So double down on it. Start handing out free shit. Start really prioritizing historic people. Start rewarding them like crazy. I mean, this is what they need to do. So honestly, I can't wait to see if they do something like that or if they just give up. I mean, it's not like them to give up. They'll start making stuff less greedy and more attractive. That's what they've done in the past to try and draw people in. So I look forward to seeing something like that. I really do. I think that's where they're going to move. And I think that's all part of, like, they're trying to kind of stall for time for 2 weeks while they run this patch later and then fix the level of interest with Historic, to put it lightly. Because if it was supposed to happen tomorrow and we're getting nothing but backlash on social media, they probably said, let's take just 2 weeks to replan this. Let's just pause it. Because to reiterate, I don't see any single technical issue, any technical reason, nor did they state one, that the patch is being moved to the 24th. So that's it for today's huge announcement. Very significant, very relevant to the future of Magic as a whole and Arena as a platform. And so I wanted to really hit every angle of this. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you guys next video.